Hey guys, now it is time for On Your Own practice for lesson 206. So drag and drop the statements in the correct order to create the paragraph proof. Alright, so when we're doing our proof, we always want to begin with our beginning. So here's our first one, it is given. I don't see any other it is given statements, so let's put that one at the top. And we're trying to prove that AB equals AD minus BD. So we know that one has to go last. So now let's see what would make the most sense. Well, I feel like we have it in order because we state that the points are collinear. A, B, C, and D lie on the same line. So then we have two segments, AB and BD, that we can add to get AD. And then we use the subtraction property of equality, which means we subtracted BD from both sides. And that gives us our answer. The symmetric property of equality means we can flip that around and still equal that. Let's check it out. We did great. There's our explanation. All right, angle congruence. We're given that angle 5 and angle 7 are vertical angles, which vertical means they make an X. And we're going to show that those angles are congruent. We actually know that because we've learned it, that vertical angles are congruent, but now we're actually going to use this paragraph proof to prove that. So it is given that angles 5 and 7 are vertical angles. And then by the blank, angles 5 and blank form a linear pair. So we see that linear pair word. So we know this is the definition of a linear pair, but what forms a linear pair with angle 5? Linear pair are two angles that make a straight line when they're joined together. So angle 5 and 6 make a linear pair. They lie on the same line, 5 and 6. So that is angle 6, goes there. And then angles 6 and 7 also form a linear pair, lie on that straight line. So let's put 7 there. Now, by the linear pair postulate, angles that form a linear pair are supplementary. Supplementary means they sum, their angle measures sum to 180 degrees. So this one here shows that angle 5 and 6 will sum to 180 degrees, and angles 6 and 7 will sum to 180 degrees. Okay, so now we can use the substitution property. Okay, and we can substitute measure of angle 6 plus the measure of angle 7 in for 180 degrees because that equals 180 degrees. And then we end up with the measure of angle 5 plus the measure of angle 6 equals the measure of angle 6 plus the measure of angle 7. Then we subtract the measure of angle 6 from both sides, leaving us with the measure of angle 5 equals the measure of angle 7 by the subtraction property of equality. And then we know they are congruent because that is angle congruence postulate. It says that when angles have equal measure, they are congruent. All right, let's check this one. Very good. Go to our next one. All right. We're given that angle A is a right angle and angle B is a right angle, and we're going to prove that their measures are equal. So first, it is given that angle A and B are right angles. That's our given. And what does that mean? Right angles measure 90 degrees. So that means the measure of angle A and the measure of angle B are 90 degrees. And this is because that's the definition of right angles. And then we can substitute, and I'm just going to bring this back down just to show since it's not fully showing. Since measure of angle B equals 90 degrees, we can substitute it in this first equation where we see 90 degrees, and that gives us the measure of angle A equals the measure of angle B. All right. We are given that the angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 and angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. So angle 1 and 2 are congruent and angle 3 and 4 are congruent. All right, so they state our given here. And because, let's see what our options are. Why can we say that angle 2 is congruent to angle 3? Well, they make that x, which are vertical angles, which we actually just proved vertical angles are congruent. And then we can see that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. What are our options here? And that's the transitive property, which we talked about. Because angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, and angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. The transitive property says if they're both equal to the same thing, they're equal to each other. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. All right, this is a long one. Okay. So the first one is the definition of a straight angle. So we have this straight angle, ACB, and we know that it measures 180 degrees. That's the definition of a straight angle. So let's see which one of those tells us that. The measure of angle ACB is 180 degrees because that's the definition of a straight angle. So that goes in the one spot. So let's see if we can get it up there. These have proven difficult to move. And I don't know why these are all doubled. I think it's a mistake in the matrix. We're going to put that in the one spot. And then look, we can check as we go. Since there's so many, let's check and see if we... I know those other ones are wrong, but this one's right. All right, 2 is one of our givens. So we know the next part's going to be the angle addition postulate. So our given is line AB. And then we have angle 1 and angle 4 are complementary angles. Well, 3 is our given, but this next part is the definition of complementary angle, so it has to be this one. So this first given has to be AB is a line. So we're given line AB. Yeah, these are all doubled up for some reason, and I don't know why. All right, let's take a look. And like I said, we can check as we go. I don't know why this is doubling all our stuff. And then 3 has to be our other given, which is angle 1 and 4 complementary angles. All right. Oh, wait. Oh, it messed up. It took away. Sorry about that. We got to put our one back. That is frustrating. All right, now we're looking at 4 angle addition postulate. So that comes from our first given, line AB. So we have this line AB. So that means angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 4 would all equal 180 degrees, possibly. Angle addition postulate. or they all add together to give you angle. We don't know how much they are yet. We're going to go with this one. All right. And then 5 is the substitution property of equality. So we know that that equals 180 degrees. That's our first one. So that means we can substitute the measure of angle ACB with 180. So that becomes angle 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals, where's that order? Angle 1 plus 2, there it is, plus 3 plus 4. The measures equal 180. So let's move that up there slowly. All right, slowly but surely. 6, definition of complementary angles. That means, and our given there is angle 1 and angle 4. So that means angle 1 plus angle 4 equals 90 degrees, because that's what complementary means. They sum to 90 degrees. Now we're on 7, commutative addition property. That means we can reorder so that means here in part 5, we can reorder, add these in any order, and they still equal 180 degrees. So we can do this one that just reorders them to more match what we're given. All right, so now we're at 8. That goes to substitution property again. And so here we know the angle 1 and the measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 4 equal 90 degrees. So we can replace the measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 4 with 90 degrees. All right. Now we're looking at 9. Again, substitution. Oh, subtraction problem. I was like, that is not substitution. We subtracted 90 from both sides. Oh, I got these mixed up, obviously. No? Yes. Hang on. Yeah, this one goes there. Then we subtract 90 from both sides, and we get the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 90. And we know this is our last one because it's what we're proving. And there's the whole explanation. All right, let's try this one. All right, we're given that angle 1 and 2 are complementary angles. Angle 3 and 2 are complementary angles. So those are our givens. They're going to go in these first 2 given boxes. So we got to find those. Angles 1 and 2 are complementary. You kind of have to work them up there. As you scroll, it won't let me scroll and hold my. So angle 1 and 2 are complementary angles, and also angles 3 and 2 are complementary angles. Yeah, scroll down a little bit. Oh, this is so frustrating. Maybe move this to the top, maybe? Open. Okay, here we go. They do not make this easy. All right. And then we do the definition of complementary angles, that they both equal 90 degrees. And this angle 1, measure angle 2, that goes on the first side, angle 3,